to get the ball. Oh, it's working now. How exciting. Is to get the ball into the target. Okay? The target's here, and as you will see by my, it is achievable. So, Malcolm, obeying the rules.
What rules?
I haven't told you. Obeying the rules, you can take your shot whenever you like. Congratulations, Malcolm. Well done. You can sit down now. Okay, obeying the rules, Mrs. Askew, you may take your position. Congratulations, Maria Sharapova. Thank you very much. Okay. Miss Merrick, who's not competitive at all, obeying the rules that I've given you, you may put your target into the pot. Obeying the rules that I gave you. Congratulations. Mr. Dodd. Mr. Dodd Jr., would you like to take your shot? Okay, that's fine. Oh, nearly, nearly. There you go. And there for the other piece. There you go. You can have one too. You can have one, and you can have one. There you go. So, this morning, Matty said it didn't work, but I think he has actually filled it up with water just to freak me. Okay, so there is actually a serious message going on here, okay, just in case you're wondering. Right, so this is a gun. And this morning I want to tell you a story about a gun, which I realise is unusual, but just hang with it. So Neil, could you please put on my first picture? Yeah, you be careful, Mrs. Swash. Okay, so could you just turn the lights off? Would that be okay? Because there's quite a lot of clips and videos and things. Thank you. Okay, so does anybody know who this is? Okay, so this man is called Matthew Emmons, and he's from America, okay? And Matthew Emmons is the Olympic shooting champion, okay? He is the man in the world who, although he's never won at the Olympics gold, he's the man who's won the most medals, the most championships, the most prizes for shooting in the world, okay? Now, he didn't just pick up a gun. Obviously, I cannot hold this gun properly because I don't know how to use it. He didn't just do that. He took years and years and years of practice to get to where he is. First of all, when he was a wee lad, he used to go to a shooting range and he used to practice the target. He used to practice setting it all up and doing whatever he does. And then when he perfected his craft after years and years of training and lots of effort, he won the World Cup final twice. And he carried on and he won more things and more competitions until he got to the very top of his game. And then we got to 2004. Anyone know where the Olympics were in 2004? Athens. Well done, Mr. Peatman. So in 2004, he came to the Olympic Games, and he went up to the target. I'll just pretend again that I'm able of doing such things, but obviously I'm not. He went and he aimed his gun at the target. Now obviously it was a slightly more sophisticated gun than what we have here, but we can use our imagination. He went towards the target after years and years of practice. He already had silver in the bag, and all he needed to do was line the shot up with the target. When he had got the gun absolutely in target, he put his finger on the trigger, and just as he was about to fire it, and nothing was standing in his way between him and an Olympic gold medal, which had been his childhood dream since he was 4, the gun misfired because somebody had damaged the inside of the barrel with a screwdriver. End of Olympics 2004. Olympics 2008. Where was that? Is it Beijing? Yeah, Beijing, 2008 Olympics. Here he comes again. So he's had 4 more years practice, 4 more years of target practice, 4 more years of setting his gun up, and he sets it up again. This time he does slightly better. In the 2008 Olympics again, he gets to the level where he's got the silver in the bag. He goes to the firing. This is actually the actual place that he took the shot from. He sets it up exactly to reach the target, okay? And he's exactly on course yet again to win the gold medal. This time, the gun didn't misfire. Hooray! This time, he shot the bullet completely in the right place. He hit the bullseye. But what happened, Mrs. Clever? Go on, you just told me. He hit the wrong target. And again, his Olympic dream was gone. But we have another Olympic Games, don't we, in 2012. And where's that? Yeah. So he's carrying on his training, and he's carrying on with what he's doing. But 2 years into his training for the 2012 Olympics, Matthew Emmons was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And he thought that he would never get to the Olympics. But what happened? 3 days ago, don't say we're not relevant in this church. 3 days ago, Matthew Emmons overcame his fight for cancer, and he qualified for the 2012 Olympic Games. In black and white times, he'd missed his goal. In black and white terms, he'd failed. But it's one miss in a sea of many hits. And this story really, really moved me when I heard it, because he didn't quit, he didn't put his gun down, and he didn't stop training. He's continuously carried on towards the challenge. Do you know what he said to his wife 10 minutes after he misfired for the second Olympic Games where he'd shot the wrong target? He said to his wife, "Something good will come out of this." And he moved on forward because there's always one more challenge for him to go for. So watch this space, because in 2012, yet again, he will go towards for the gold medal. And this time, the story might be different. But if you look into the career of Matthew Emmons, what people focus on is those 2 misfires. One of them was his fault because he hit the wrong target, which is an unusual thing to do when you're a gold medal Olympic athlete, but maybe he was having a bad day. One of them, his gun had been tampered with. But the world focuses on those 2 misfires. But we can see the bigger picture, because I've just told you the whole story. Okay? When they went to fire the targets, Gemma knew the whole story, because she knew that there was no rules, and so she could do that, because she's very competitive. You have to listen to the whole story and not just concentrate on the one misfire in your life. Because life is an entire journey. And some days, there'll be some very, very good days. Has anybody had a really good day this week? I have. I had a really good day. Excellent. Good. I'm pleased to hear. Has anybody had a really, really bad day this week? I have. I've had 6. Was there 7 days? Yes, 6 really, really bad days. But what counts is how you deal with it. What counts is when it comes to it, how you deal with it. Something good will come of this. And what's admirable about Matthew is through terrible adversity, he keeps moving forward to his goal. Because his dream when he was 4 years old was to win a gold medal in the Olympic Games. And he's never given up on that. He's never given up hope, and he's never given up. So what I want to ask you this morning is, what energizes you? What is your dream? He must like shooting targets. I've watched it on YouTube the other day. It's quite boring. It takes loads and loads of time for them to set it up. It's not just a case of randomly, there's all these rules and things about this little blue thing at the top, and they keep messing with it. It's quite a complicated process. So he must really enjoy it. It must energize him. It must keep him going. So what I want to know this morning is, I want you to ask yourself, what energizes you? What is your dream? Just close your eyes and think about that for a few seconds. John Ortberg said, "The great danger is not that we will denounce our faith, but that we will settle for a mediocre version." John Ortberg said that we would not denounce our faith, but we will settle for a mediocre version. Look at athletes. They're called and they're trained. But we know that you don't just wake up one morning and become an athlete. It takes skill. It takes talent. These musicians this morning, it just struck me that they didn't just turn up at 9 o'clock and learn how to play a few songs. That represents hours and hours and hours of practice. Because before they even set up in the band this morning, they knew how to play the instruments. People don't just go and do things like this. They actually are trained. Except when you have a baby, and then there's no training. They just give it you and say, there it is. But it takes skill and effort, and just because he's good at rifles doesn't mean that he can't have a bad day. It doesn't mean that he's good at everything. Let's just look at the next picture. So the new news is that Everton Football Club, we do have some fans in the building, so they'll confirm, Everton Football Club has signed Roger Federer. Roger Federer, you could argue, is an excellent tennis player. He's brilliant. If you watch him play, the man is a machine. There's no emotion on his face. He just hits the ball at 127 miles an hour, and he hits the spot. Who thinks, let's have a little pop quiz. Now, I don't know who these people are. Do you know who they are? This one's Leon Osman. Is he a good football player? He's an excellent football player. Who's this one? He's called Joe, something very long that we can't pronounce. Does he not play for Everton? That's Google, you see, it's deceptive. Never trust a computer. But these two people are football players and get paid a very large amount of money to play football. And Roger Federer, who thinks that Roger Federer would be a good signing for Everton?